doggone coil the whole time. It was a doggone coil the whole time. I said it was a coil and I went through everything else. It was a doggone coil the whole time. Hello YouTube world, welcome today to another episode here on RevStoration. You may have guessed it, yes, I'm going to be working on my 68 Ford F100 that I've given the nickname of Ole Puddin. Some people don't like hearing about pudding so much, but hey, when you have an old automobile, when you have a 68 Ford F100 that hadn't been on the road in years, you can almost guarantee that when you drive it, you're going to find out there are other issues that are plaguing this old ride. We've got her on the road, and now that we've got her on the road, we've found some more issues. So in this episode, we're going to share with you how we can get her pumping again, and maybe not clicking and clacking going down the road. We're hoping. I'll share that with you in this episode. So let me let you in on a secret of YouTube. When you hit that subscribe button, it is absolutely free to use, but it immensely blesses me. All right, y'all, in the last episode when I was working on Puddin's timing, you remember when the ignition system fired through my hand and it hurt like the dickens? When I got it resolved, I told you at the end of the episode there was still some what sounded to me like bottom end tick or some kind of noise that I could hear it when I opened the hood. Up under the hood, of course, you can hear it driving, but up under the vehicle, it seemed to be louder. So my assumption, now remember, I have only one ear that works. If you ever talk to me in my left ear, you're probably not gonna get much. You're gonna think I'm a smug. It's not because I'm a smug, it's because I can't hear out of that ear. I only hear out of one ear. So me telling where sound is coming from is rather difficult. So of course I put my one good ear on it and listened around and was hearing some noise. Maybe some had mentioned that maybe harmonic balancer, a few different issues that it could have been. It could have been an exhaust manifold where the exhaust gasket is actually popping when it gets at room temperature, or gets a running temperature and gets warm. I thought, well, maybe what about water pressure building up, because it's got a 360 radiator and a 289 engine. So it was a little bit concerning to me. I couldn't figure out what the noise was coming from. And I'm going to turn the camera around. Yeah, I was kind of revving up the engine and just holding the brake a little bit and making a little bit of a yee-haw and just getting the motor revved up, getting the motor heated up. And when I did that, I got out, and when I got out, I noticed that right around the front main seal was dropping something, and I assumed that it was oil. Now there probably is a little oil that's still leaking there. There's probably still a little front and rear main that's leaking. Is it set forever? Probably need to rebuild the motor. But I also noticed that it was dripping faster, and the more I looked, it was coolant. The coolant's not leaking anywhere, so water pump is bad. No doubt it's weeping out of the water pump. So I'm hoping. Now you can go on and tell me in the video now. You're probably going to say that's probably not where the noise is coming from. Hey, you're probably right. Maybe not. But I do know I need to replace the water pumps. In today's video, you're going to have the fun, the enjoyment, the great awe ability of watching me replace this water pump. I might have said oil pump. Watching me replace the water pump on this 1968 Ford F100 that I've named Puddin. Second, third, fourth time I've used that word. But also I'm going to dig in. We're going to look at a few other things as we get in there. I'll show you how I do this. Here's the cool thing. I've actually got a friend, a YouTube friend, that's going to be surprising my wife and stopping by and seeing us. So Rip Jacks, Mr. Stone, if you see this video, he also said he wanted to come by and see Puddin. Didn't say much about coming by and seeing me, but hey, I get it. We're looking forward to having him later on this afternoon. I did some honey-do list that Nikki T had for me. Friday is my day off from ministry, if you want to call it that. So today I'm going to be working on Ole Puddin, and I'm going to carry you along with me. All right, first thing we want to do to replace the water pump is to get all the coolant out. There's a lot of ways you can do that. Just take off a hose. Yeah, you could do that, or you could drain it through the peacock there. Now you say, why in the world are you going to drain it that way? Well, I want to drain it out of this peacock. Man, that's going to take like 38 years. All right, we're going to let it drain out of the peacock for the purpose of, I don't really know. Why are we going to let it drain through the peacock? Thought it would go faster than that. Maybe I'll take it all the way out. All right, it won't go all the way out as fast as it'll go. Drain, drain, drain. See it dripping over there? All right, y'all, what is one of the first things you need to do? If you hear that, you may need a restroom break. First things you need to do before you take all of the accessories off, I'm gonna start doing that in just a second. One of the things you need to do first is to drain all of the coolant out of the engine. When you do that, of course, it cleans up, not as much of a mess. And yes, I'm catching it because I'm gonna reuse it. Why? Because I'm cheap. And it'll take 38 years to do it just like this. I'm draining it out of the peacock, but it's gonna give me an opportunity to go in and get a few other things done that I need to get done. I'll come back and hopefully it'll be drained. Like 3 years from now. There, rascal. I don't know if y'all can see him, but he just turned his head. I don't know how many points he's got, but he's a big one. Get him looking right at us. Woo-hoo-wee. I'm out here working on pudding and I see that. Get that big old rascal. You see him? Good Lord. There's a doe around here somewhere. He was chasing the doe. Well, this is how close he is. Here goes a doe. Running by. Oh my goodness. There's a doe laying down. There's a doe laying down right there. That's my boat. There's a doe. That's what that big boy is after. That rascal ain't no more worried about me. There it went. There she goes. Pew. Well, y'all, it appears the rut is on. I don't know if y'all, I think I'm gonna share at least a clip or two of that. Just heard a little bit of ruckus back behind me. There's a loud road. And these 3 deer, there was actually 3, 2 does and a pretty nice buck. Came rumbling through the woods, and the buck actually stood there for a good 5 or 6 minutes. If I hadn't have made any ruckus, I don't know what went on, but the rut is on. But hey, I ain't got time to shoot or stick anything here in the city limits. That'd be against the law. But boy, he might have been a wall hanger, but he lives another day. So what I'm gonna do is now start taking all the things off. It's still draining. The peacock's draining slowly. I don't want to drain the whole tank. I'm just going to lower it down. If I get it down below the water pump, then hey, it'll be good. So that's what we're doing right now. All right, so the first thing we want to do is loosen up. Here is our steering pump. Just want to loosen it up, get it good and loose so I can get the belt off. Probably already should have bought another belt, but I have not done that yet. Now go over to the alternator. Loosen it up there. Loosen it up. Oh, nope, wrong size there. It's 5/8. Probably. One of the things I can let you know is the radiator grate will tear your fingers up. So be careful. Don't have a lot of room. Don't have a lot of room there. Another thing to be careful of is when you're loosening these, don't pull yourself up too far and hit your hand. That ain't good. I don't use anti-Sunday school words anymore, but that would make you think one, and that's just as bad. All right, so let's get all these off. Get out of there. I'll tell you what, it's like Nevada trying to count votes. That's not a political statement, but I tell you what, the deacons in the church that I pastor would have had them votes counted 3 days ago. Them rascals quick. Ain't gonna mess with their Shoney's date. Come on. Got time for you. Time is running out. Oh. Lead blaster. We'll be back. Alright, y'all, this bolt here is one of them ones that makes you feel like you on the verge of breaking it. Oh, and it's in there tight. Oh, whew, this top one ain't no problem. The bottom one, boy, it's wanting to. It's tight all the way in, all the way out. All right, y'all. Woohoo! Got it out. So much stinking RTV in this bolt. I ain't gonna take it apart because I know I'm gonna have to get it out. Well, there's that bolt that would not come out. Bolt don't look half bad. It's just rusted, I assume, in here. It ain't coming out. So we'll have to work on that a little bit. This in here, have to clean all that up, bang it out. Probably have to go get another bolt. All right, y'all, here's the old water pump, new water pump. All right, old, new, can't tell much difference until we put them on. Of course, that one didn't have a gasket. They just used the red RTV. Some people say that's all you should use. I'm not going to use it. I'm actually going to use it and the gasket. So hopefully that, hopefully it works. I'm sure it'll be fine. You don't really know who to trust, but you know who's the smallest liar in all the world? Atoms. They make up everything. All right, y'all, we're gonna get to it. I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do and how I get the RTV started on this before I put it onto the truck. So now, let's get ready and slide this baby on. We slide it on, just kind of give it a little bit of a love squish. Get everything lined up. All right, now that side's on, so what we're gonna do now is go and put some on the outside of all of this so that when we slide it up and get it onto the truck, it'll have gasket made on that side as well. I could put it onto the truck, but I don't believe that I will. I believe I'll just put it on the side of this, run a bolt, a couple of bolts in here, the few spots where they're smaller, make sure we get those all the way through, and get the bolt in her on. So let's now put this gasket made on the outside of this. All right, so we have our pump getting ready to get her set in. All right, a little gasket mate there. All right, y'all, we've got everything buttoned up. Everything is back on the truck. Water pump is new. Got the belts, got everything hooked up and back the way that they were. If you look here, I have that open so that it can be a weep. See this here? That is open so that it can be a weep hole when I fill the radiator back up with coolant. When coolant comes out there, I'll be able to close that back up. After I close it back up, then I'll be able to come and refill the system, make sure all the air is out of the block. I'll be ready to crank it up and check for leaks. So that's the plan. Coming out of the weep hole here. Give it a little bit of throttle here. Hopefully that'll crank her up. Let's go. And of course she's revved too high right now. Not too bad. What I want to do is let the engine run, and I'm going to watch down inside of the radiator, and I want to wait until the engine gets up to running temperature. When the engine gets up to running temperature, I want the thermostat to turn on. When the thermostat turns on, then I'll refill it up, make sure all the air's out. I want all the air that's inside of the engine and the water ports to get purged out. We don't want any air pockets in the engine. All right, giving Ole Puddin a test drive. Where was that? Is it that way with y'all? That whenever you give your automobile a test drive, it scares you because it makes you think every little noise. It makes you think, well, that's it. It didn't fix it. Get all scared. I ain't scared. I ain't scared. There's Ole Puddin. Alright, Ole Puddin's gonna go around the block. Hey y'all, there's y'all see that cemetery right there? There are people just dying just to get out there. Alright y'all, I think Puddin might be ready to blow. I don't know what's going on with it. Boy, it's knocking, ticking, clanking, all kind of things. Hear that knocking? I hope I can make it to the house before it goes off. Oh, torque converter, maybe, but it's still going. I'm about to limp her to the house. Hear that? I'm about to sling a rod, maybe. Here. Old pressure light hadn't come on yet. Yeah. Hear that? Fill it in the foot feed. She was clanking, now she's knocking. I believe I can say it was not the water pump. I'm telling y'all what, Ole Puddin's about to give up the Holy Ghost. About to say it is finished. Well, something knocking, it's backfiring. Temperature's good. Still got oil pressure. Don't have a clue what that knocking is. You hear it? I think now I have a horrible valve knock. I do believe that's what that noise is. Old Puddin, come on, Puddin. All right, y'all. Old Puddin's probably gonna need her 289 rebuilt. So that may be coming up on this episode. I don't know what in the world happened to her, but I'm gonna work on her, play around with her, see if we can get that knockout. If not, then hey, I figured out my issue. Need the motor rebuilt. So that looks like it'll be a lot of fun. It doesn't bother me a bit. I'm excited and looking forward to it. Hey, but I appreciate y'all watching this crazy episode. Hey, temperature's not running hot. Water pump doesn't seem to be leaking. Seems to be doing really, really well. But hey, now we got not a click clack, now it's got a knock knock. So we're going to play around with it, get it working. Hopefully see if I can get that pulled out of the engine. Probably not, probably needs a rebuild, but hey, I appreciate you watching. All right, I faked you out. I paid a guy to do a valve job on one side to see if that would stop the ticking the other day. And that sorry rascal actually must have left one of the valves loose, because when I was driving down the road just a minute ago, one of the rocker arms came off, OFF off. Can I tell you the guy I paid to do that? Right here, it was me. I still don't know what this ticking is. Now I'm thinking it's something in the exhaust, maybe. You hear that ticking? Hear that? Thinking that must be in the exhaust. Motor's running good. Of course, it's smoking a little bit now where I got all the oil on the valve cover. All right, y'all, appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time here on RevStoration. I know no way really of closing out these videos and saying deuces. May God bless.